Welcome back to Actually You Know What, where we turn our wine nights into content. Mel?
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Mel.
Hi, it's been a while.
Dude, it's been. I feel like we talk about it so often. We talk about the podcast so often that I forget how long it's been since we've actually recorded an episode.
Right.
And
I mean, you've been taking a slight, not necessarily a break, but you've just been so busy. And
Yeah.
it's just been a while since I've been able to sit down too. So it's been I think it's been 2 months
Dude, probably, yeah.
since
because
I've recorded with you.
Yeah, because I definitely had everything on hiatus just because work got so crazy, life got so crazy. I've been purging a lot of things out of my life, out of my home, like physical items.
Right.
So I just feel like there's just never enough time for anything. And when Mal and I first started this whole Etsy podcast adventure, we did one of the first things we talked about was that this is going to be for fun.
Right.
Like there's not going to be any pressure.
Right.
There's nothing where we're like, we have to meet a deadline
There's
or whatever.
there's a hierarchy of priorities. And obviously work, family, home, that comes first.
Yeah. And I think that you and I have always been really good about putting those things first, because I know, when 2020 happened, COVID happened,
Right.
and people kind of started getting more into the streaming and more into all that stuff, and with the streaming came the numbers, came the
Right.
I got to stream on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or whatever days you were picking at this time or whatever. And I know you and me, though we dabbled in it, we were both really good about, no, if I have plans, or if my, if for in your case, if, you and your husband were going to go do something, or I know for me, a lot of it was like, if my friend invites me to a happy hour on a Thursday and that's when I was going to stream, I'm going to the happy hour.
Right. You have to still put time and effort into your
Yeah.
IRL life. You can't just
Right.
focus on
Yeah.
your job or your online presence or whatever it is.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think we were both really good about that. And I think we continue to be really good about that, because I think we have seen over, especially the last 6 years or 5.5 years, whatever, where, putting effort into your IRL friendships and whatever, it's something that a lot of people have started lacking a lot of.
Yeah.
And I think that yeah, and I think we'll get into all of that too, but nurturing those friendships became an art that I think is lost and
It's
forgotten.
it's maybe not lost, but it's definitely getting there, especially
Yeah.
with the generations after us. And speaking of friendships, we also just were discussing things off the mic that we are going to start putting together for some after hours.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys aren't aware, we have a Patreon. I think Steggy usually links it in the descriptions. Yeah. So if you wanted to join the Patreon and listen to some of the super juicy stuff.
Yeah, so we only put the after hours episodes, and I think we have 1 or 2 up right now, and they are mainly just episodes that we could release them on and to the public on Spotify, whatever, but we don't want to, because the things that we say are very situational and very
right,
not specific to where we're gonna tell you names or anything like that, but you will know.
Right. If people who know us well will know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not going to be quite as vague as we might be on regular episodes.
Right.
We're going to be more specific.
We're
and
more
personal,
judgmental,
more personal.
We're
More,
also, we're also we're a lot more honest, and we don't sugarcoat anything on there.
Right.
We're very no, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited.
yeah, it's fun for us because it's Mal and I, you guys know us, we love to beat a dead horse, and it's a way for us to beat a dead horse while you guys listen and hear it for the first time.
It's also cathartic to
Yeah.
just get it out there and not just have it between the two of us or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's nice. And for some of the cases and some of the things that we're going to be talking about, it's very I just want to tell my side of it.
I know.
And I'm excited, even if nobody listens to it other than, the handful of close friends that we have. That's still to me telling my side in full length and our side of things
without someone being what about isms,
right?
or
Yeah, exactly.
whatever, interrupting.
Well, that's not what I saw happen. Okay, well, let me tell you what I saw. I was there for all of it. You and I were there for all of it.
Yep.
So I am excited for those episodes.
Mm-hmm. Friendship is the general theme of today's episode anyway, in some ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about friendships and whatnot, let's segue into things that made us cry, because mine actually has to do with friendship, and I think yours does too. So, if you want to go ahead and start.
Sure. Well, I have a silly one first, just to kind of break the ice, I guess. Bluey.
Oh, yeah.
Bluey, I mean, I feel like Bluey makes adults cry, whether you have kids or not, but especially after you have kids. It just, like, hits in certain spots. And there is an episode I was watching with my daughter today, actually, and she's, like, at the perfect age where she's really starting to like Bluey. When I first introduced her to her, she was really little, and I don't think she didn't care. She liked, Miss Rachel more when she was really little. But it was an episode where Chili, who is Bluey's mom, is explaining to Bluey how it's not always a competition between your peers on who's better at one thing or another. And she was explaining, like, when you were a baby, you were the first to roll over, but it took you longer than other babies to learn how to walk.
Okay.
And Chili, the mom, was, stressed out about it, judging herself. And then another mom friend of hers came over, and this mom friend had a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. And she just looks Chili straight in the eye, and she goes, "You're doing a great job."
Aww.
Dude, I'm almost about to cry right now.
No.
It just, like, hits, because it's like, especially as a mom, I feel like you get so, like, hung up on, like, are you doing a good enough job? Or are you doing everything right? Or whatever.
When you've talked about that with me before, when we're voicing each other, and I can hear, even if you're not saying it flat out, I can hear that the point you're trying to, like, almost make is, like, I don't know if I'm doing, like, the best job.
Like, I'm just stressing.
Yeah. And it's in it, like, I mean, I've told you this before too, where I'm like, you are doing so much more than our parents ever did.
Yeah.
I know, like, me, I only child for a lot of my life, and, like, I didn't, we didn't do a lot of things together. We didn't go, I don't remember going to a lot of parks. I mean, maybe we played outside here and there and whatever, but, like, I don't remember that. And it's like, that also is, like, I don't know. It's like, it's not something that I guess I've ever really reflected on until you started, like, saying, like, I feel like, I missed going outside today. And I'm like, dude, you went out every other day, though. Like, it's okay if you missed a day.
Right. Yeah. I feel like millennial parents in general, I mean, there's obviously bad parents and good parents in every generation, but I feel like millennial parents in general are trying really hard.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're doing pretty good. So
yeah, I think
it might not be, perfect, but I think we're trying to fill those gaps we might have felt as kids. But my more serious one that has more to do with our general topic today is I just had a day recently that it just hit me. I was just having a day, and I was just thinking about, friendships and how things have been changing and whatever. And I just, like, broke down, and I was driving my daughter somewhere kind of far, not super far, but kind of far. So I was just, like, for a good solid 15, 20 minutes crying in the front seat, like, obviously not audibly, so she didn't hear me.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow, I feel like this is a solid parent moment where you're just like, wow, I am doing that thing that moms do, crying secretly in the front seat of the car.
Because you have to keep driving, right? You got to keep going. So it's like, oh God.
But I had the thing I was, I was upset about friendships changing, and what I thought might be lifelong friendships didn't end up not being what they were, and just missing certain aspects of some friendships, and missing I guess it was just kind of like the grief of what I thought was gonna be didn't end up being what is. And it just hurts. And I feel like a lot of the thing I kind of wanted to mention about this thing that made me cry this week was I feel like people don't really, like, speak openly about, like, friendship grief.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, okay, grief over losing a significant other or a divorce or a loved one, passing away. Obviously, the loved one passing away, I feel like personally, I think is the worst. Like, obviously, that's the hardest kind of grief, in my opinion. But I feel like friendship grief and relationship loss is, like, pretty even.
Right.
And I don't think enough people talk about it because, I mean, I don't know how everyone else is with friends, but me personally, I mean, I have plenty of friends that I like care about, but I'm not like, you know, besties for the resties with, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends like that, and I've had a lot of friends like that over the years. But there's like a handful of friends I've had that I literally I would have listed them right among like my family and my husband as like one of the top, and you're one of those people to me.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously my husband and my daughter come first, but you're like, you're right there, vying for spot number 3, you know, like, right. And that's how I treat my closest friends. Like, you guys are basically family to me. So when one of those friends that I thought were that type of people, like, end up not being that forever, which is to be expected. Like, not all friendships last forever, but it just hurts, you know. It just just not a good feeling.
I think it's comparable to, I think, like you said, like a relationship where you break up with somebody and suddenly this person's not in your life anymore, and or maybe they are in your life but not to that same capacity, and it's like you grieve that friendship, you grieve that closeness because it's not coming back. Right. So that something did die here.
There's really no way of getting back to that spot. Right. Like, you've thought of ways you maybe, but you've changed, they've changed. Yeah. Whether it's a boyfriend or a friend, it's just like, it's different now.
And it's never going to be the same.
Right.
And so the friendship thing that made me cry this week was from One Piece, and it's from like the first or second episode, so it's not like a spoiler, it's not a big storyline or anything, but I guess if you don't want to hear anything about One Piece, then scroll or skip to the next, like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. But Luffy and his crew run into a whale that is banging his head against a cliff because his the guy that, like, you know, he was like super good friends with, him and his crew ended up leaving, and he was like, you know, probably not coming back or whatever. And the Laboon is the whale's name. He got so sad that he was banging his head against a wall because he just like was pretty much done. He was over it. Mm-hmm. So Luffy, who is like essentially kind of like a Goku character where he just wants everybody to get along. He's a sweet thing. He's kind of stupid and whatever.
Question real fast. Sorry to interrupt. Do a lot of animals talk on this?
Laboon doesn't talk. They only know about the story of Laboon because there was like another captain in the area that like saw it all happen. Oh. So like Laboon like just liked that his like friend or whatever, like, he played music and he liked listening to the music. So he was like, and it was kind of like an owner.
That's
basically.
Even sadder.
Yeah, no, it was Laboon was very much like a dog.
Okay.
And like, you know, when he left, he was just really sad about it. He was like, essentially misses his friend. And Luffy tries to get him to stop. And like Luffy has to have like this serious talk with him. And he tells him, and by the way, the whale has like Dumbo eyes, and you know how I felt during Dumbo. So I saw this and I was sobbing, like straight up fucking sobbing. And Luffy tells him, he goes, people leave Laboon, but sometimes you end up somewhere where you never thought you would, and you get to meet people that stay. And like, that was really sweet. But then in like a couple scenes later, he draws like the Straw Hat, like their pirate ship animation or whatever, the drawing, he draws it on Laboon on his like forehead, and he's like, that's a symbol of our friendship, so now if you butt your head against that wall, it's gonna go away, so you can't let that happen. And like, now this thing doesn't bash its head because, you know, he's waiting for his other friends. And oh my god, I was just I'm telling you, I sobbed, like I cried. I was like, he's so cute and he's so sad. I hate it.
Yeah.
But you know, again, going along with like today's episode of like, sometimes friendships don't work out, and it's a really hard thing because it's comparable to, and I would even say that for me, I have and this is maybe circumstantial, this is just me, I have always been a lot closer to friends, like girlfriends, than I ever have with a significant other. So I'm more myself. I am more all of the things that make me me, you know, the shit talker, the whatever, like the silly person, whatever. I'm more that with a friend, with a girlfriend. So when that girlfriend and I are no longer friends, I think it's almost like for me worse than a breakup, because it's like I felt so close to you. I don't even feel that close with the person I share a bed with.
Right.
But like, that's what that feels like.
Right.
And yeah, it's just like you almost start like when you lose a friend that has been that close to you. I've never done this. I guess no, I've done this in a relationship before too, but I think it's more extreme with friends where I ask myself, what did I do?
Yeah.
What was I not doing enough of?
That was like a huge theme of when I was crying.
Yeah.
This week, because I've lost a few friends like that.
Yeah.
That I thought would have been friends for life. And not that they're not necessarily, it's not like anything bad happened where I'm never going to talk to them again. But it's just like, I've still lost them, you know? It's just not how it was.
Right.
But I was literally like, there must be something that I did wrong to make these people not want to be that close to me anymore.
Right. If it's happened more than once, am I the issue?
Right.
Like, and it's something that you really do ask yourself, and, you know, you wonder, well, did I say something that hurt their feelings? Did I do something? Did I not do enough?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think in that same breath with gaslighting yourself and asking yourself, you know, did I not make this person feel loved enough? There's the opposite of that, you know, that's like, I don't know if the opposite's the right word, but
the other side of it.
The other side of it is when you essentially are the one doing all of the emotional labor. And I used that terminology once with one of my exes, and he got really angry because he didn't know what that meant. So
that's
I
common.
just want to say really quick, emotional labor, you could look it up, but essentially what that means is like, you're the one that plans everything. You're the one that remembers everything. You're the one that like essentially takes care of everything in the relationship as far as emotions go.
I always thought of it too as like, if you notice something's off about that person, you'll ask them, are you okay? Or if something's off about going off between the both of you, you'll be like, I feel like there's an off vibe. It's something we can talk about. Or you'll be like, I've been feeling like super bitchy lately, and I just want you to let you know it has nothing to do with you. They don't even ask you about it. Like, that's what I assume emotional labor means a lot of the time.
And that's how I used it in that, you know, and that's something that we talk about in one of the After Hours episodes is my relationship with my ex and how that all fell apart and everything. It's probably one of my favorite breakup stories to tell because it was just so bizarre.
That was wild.
But yeah, we had a day where I started the day. It was like a long list of things that happened in the morning. That was like one of those mornings where everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Like your cat throws up in front of you, and then
you're like, already late.
Yeah, they pooped outside of the litter box, and also your shirt got caught in the doorknob, and it's like one of those days. And I remember I was driving home from CVS. I was like, today sucks so much. I'm going to get myself that $9 Starbucks. And I told this person, you know, I'm having just a really terrible day. And like, at no point were they like, oh, I'm really sorry that you're having a bad day. Is there anything I can do? Or
like, what
do you want to
happened?
talk about it? Yeah, what happened? Whatever. And it was just, oh, no, sorry, or something like that. Or maybe just even an oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was. I feel like it was, oh, no.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't even a sorry. I feel like it was just like an, oh, no. And
anyway.
Yeah, and that shit pisses me off because I'm like, so you just don't care about how I'm feeling right now about because if you told me like I'm just having a really shitty day, I'd be like, what happened? Like, did you not get enough sleep, or like what happened? And when like a significant other doesn't do it, I'm like, do you even care that like I'm having a bad day? Because you should care because it's going to affect you. So, but like, yeah, you should care about that because you care about me. Even if you can't fix it, at least be like, oh my God, like what happened? Like, and then I want you to say, yeah, that really does suck. I'm sorry. Like, that's it. That's all I need. And I couldn't even get that. And from that sparked a whole conversation about how like, I was like, I'm always the one that notices when vibes are off. Like, I'm always the one that like has to plan our date nights that we have and, you know, whatever else. And, you know, I'm the one that has to bring up these conversations and everything. And it is like I'm doing all of the emotional labor. 100%. I'm the one that notices everything. And he got like so irritated because he didn't know what that meant. But
yeah, I feel like and then all what you're saying makes so much sense to me as somebody who also does a lot of emotional labor. But then I guess like maybe people that don't think about that stuff, do they think that's annoying?
Right.
Like, am I annoying people that I'm bothering people so much with like getting to the nitty gritty of why something doesn't feel right? That they're like, she's too much. You know what I mean? And it's like,
but I think that has a lot to do with the other person as well, because I think that if your tone was a little bit off, but then, you know, a couple hours in, you were like, dude, I've been so stressed out this morning, like, and then at least there's that subtle like explanation for it, so you kind of understand where it's like, people, I'm sorry, but if you text somebody every morning, you say good morning, good morning, good morning, and then one day you say, hey, and like they're saying, well, why did you do that? And you're going, why? Like, what does it matter? You know something's off. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way that you don't know that like something you do all the time has changed, and now you're acting like it doesn't. So now this person has to bring it up and say, hey, what happened? That's the emotional labor. Like, you're making me say something because I know you know that something's wrong.
Right.
So, I mean, while I'm sure it can be annoying, I also think that they know. Like, I think somebody who is avoiding that emotional labor, they don't know they're doing it, but they don't want to deal with it.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of friendships like that too, where they don't want to deal with the hard things. They don't want to deal with like the conversations of, oh yeah, you've been off or things have been weird.
But us being enlightened ones,
yeah,
which I will call us that, we know that's where the good, juicy relationships lie, is when you go into the hard things. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to go into hard things and be like, you are being a fucking bitch the other day, and I love this shit out of you, and I want you to stop being like that.
What's going on?
Right? Like, can you please tell me what's happening? Because I feel like you hate me specifically, and I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And then
I know that's happened with us before too, where I might have been like off that day, and I'm just too busy to like even realize it, or maybe like, you know how I am. I just like shiny things distract me. But like, you've called me out before and been like, hey, like, something seems off, like, are you okay? Did something happen? Like, whatever. And I'm like, shit, you know what? I didn't even think about that. You're right, though. And it's not a weird conversation. No. It's never anything that's like, oh, why is she bringing this up? It's like, no, shit, you're right. And I think it's because we both care about each other. And it's like, we know what it's like to be on that end. Yeah. Of like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you don't want somebody like... You want something to happen to our really good friend that's happened to us, where they think like, oh, this is fine behavior. We don't have to like talk about it or whatever.
Right.
And every now and then I can let something slide. Like, I know you've let something slide with me too. Like, we're busier. I'm a mom now. Like, sometimes we don't get back to each other that fast or, you know, whatever. And that's fine. Like, it's not like everything with every friendship you have to bring up all the time.
Right.
But yeah, there's just certain things that's like, I don't know. The emotional labor has definitely been a theme.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like infuriating to be that person that does everything, and it gets exhausting. And then the other side of like that whole dynamic of like feeling like you are gaslighting yourself because you're like, did I do enough? Did I not tell them that I love them enough or whatever? Like opposing that is doing so much to make sure that their feelings are not getting hurt, or that they're not overwhelmed, or that they don't have anxiety, and suppressing your own shit and being like, nope, my day's great, because you can't handle if I tell you that my day's not great. Or you're going to, like we're very familiar with this, you're going to turn it into your day is the worst. Your day is worse than mine. Everything that you do is the worst thing ever, and I'm so
sorry. Stand by for after hours.
Literally one of them. I'm so excited about that episode too.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like when you were saying you constantly looking out to make sure that this person is having a good day.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's exhausting, dude.
Wild that
I've been like
I
that in
was so worried about that. Yeah.
That's something that like it's almost like you start to resent that person. At least in my case, I start to resent that person because I'm like, I'm not allowed to have a bad day. Like, because if I do, you're having a bad day, or, you know, whatever else. Like, I can't, like, your life is worse than mine, I guess. Like, which shouldn't be a competition. Like, maybe we can hear each other out.
Right.
But in friendships, I feel like it's hard.
What you're talking about I know who you're talking about when you say that. I feel like it was more so like we're both allowed to have shitty days.
Right.
But it was like, with certain friendships, if you say something happened to you that was shitty, or you say something happened to you was great.
Yeah.
It was breezed past.
Right.
It was like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's anyways,
let's talk about something that happened to me now.
Right.
It's
like, all right,
okay.
Cool. Fucking sick, dude. But Yeah, that's something that we've dealt with a lot with friendships is having to put away our own stuff or having to act differently because the other person gets too much anxiety or whatever. And then when you do that thing, you're also like punished for that because that's the wrong thing. Like, oh, you shouldn't have been doing it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And friendships are exhausting when they're like that. And I think, you learn to, or maybe we immediately want to blame ourselves, and then once you start thinking about it, you're like, wait a minute. And that's kind of what happened in like those friendships is like I had you there, so that changed a lot of things for me because it was like, no, there's somebody else was there too, they saw it all happen, so I'm not crazy. And that was really helpful in all of that.
Right.
But
not to say that all friendships are like that. It's just there's been a lot of things that transition.
Yeah. And I think, I had mentioned this a little bit earlier today, but for me, what hurts about losing somebody, a close female best friend, whatever, is that for me, it hurts a little bit more than a relationship because chances are me and that friend have been friends for longer than I've dated any guy.
Right.
And I am more comfortable around this person. I feel safer around this person. I was closer with them ultimately. And, I've never been as close with a significant other as I am with a female friend. And that's because I have always felt like women are safe spaces and women are like, we're more likely to have things in common, our senses of humor, our weirdness, our this, our that. And, that kind of ties into the theme, which kind of sparked this episode, which was us asking people about their friendships. So friendships with, between men and women and women and men, etc. So the main thing that I wanted to find out from this was, do men have more female friends than male friends, and how do women feel about it? Like what is their ratio? And then do you have a bestie that is of the opposite sex and straight? Because obviously gay besties are very different.
Oh man, I'll put out an
ad.
Yeah, an ad for a gay bestie.
Oh, you won't get much of them out here, unfortunately. But we did ask the women first, which was, as a straight woman, do you have a straight male bestie? And shockingly, it was split almost 50-50, where it was 42% said yes, 53% said no. So yeah, it was like split almost down the middle. I think it was like 18 to 20 votes or something like that. And then I asked, as a straight woman, do you have more guy friends than girlfriends? And I think it was like 68% said more girls, and 11% said more guys, and somebody else said it's about even. And I was like, okay, so you guys all have at least one male bestie, but all of your other friends, the majority are women. Okay, interesting. So when we asked women, if you said yes to either one of these questions, why would that be? Why would you have more, or why would you have more male friends than female friends, and why do you have a male bestie? And we got a couple answers that were, one said, it's pretty even for me. I don't like girls my age. They're garbage. And this person's in her 20s. Somebody else said, my mom always told me that girls are backstabbing bitches growing up.
Damn.
I know. And then somebody else said, men were just kind of always there, but with my female friends, it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, because I feel like part of what doesn't get shown in the statistics is, the question is, do you have a straight male bestie? And you said it was about half and half, but that doesn't mean that the woman that answered that also doesn't have a straight woman bestie.
Right. It just means you have a male bestie in your life. It's not the sole person that you talk to, whatever.
Right. So yeah, the last one where it said the quality over quantity is like, yeah, maybe I have a same amount of men friends as I do women friends, but the women friends are way more important to my daily life or whatever,
Right. The dudes are just kind of there.
Right.
And then the girls are the ones I actually want to hang out with. I thought it was interesting because I don't have many straight male friends, and the ones that I do are mostly in relationships or married or whatever. And I think I have maybe 2 or 3 straight male friends that I talk to. And not often.
Right.
Like I think one of my buddies I talk to probably like once a week or something. We talk a little bit here and there, and then like I would say he's my guy bestie because he's the guy probably that I talk to the most other than my significant other. But like, yeah, he's probably I talk to him like once a week.
Right.
So
and you guys, it's like long distance best friends.
Long
too.
distance, and we've been friends since high school, so we've been friends for 20 years. But any guys that I are my married buddies, I'm like, as soon as you get married, I'm rooting for her. Like,
I've never had a closer guy friend that I haven't met because of who I'm dating or because of who I'm friends with as women.
Right.
Like I have like guys in like the larger group that we used to go out with a lot, right?
Yeah.
I have some, I would say, acquaintance friends at this point because I see them, a handful of times a year that I might talk to the guy more than their significant other or whatever, but that's it. Like, I don't have, like, organic guy friends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think, how I feel, too, where I might have, like, more so of, like, acquaintances, and when I say friends, I mean friends that I don't ever, when I'm thinking friends, I'm thinking I hang out with them a couple times a month. I don't have guy friends like that. Like, I don't have anybody like that other than maybe Roy because he happens to be at your house.
Right. He's like married to me and stuff.
So,
but you've also known him for a long time. So you do have like, you have like a hint of closeness with him in that way where you're kind of like family, but you're not like, you don't like go to him about, hey, I have a question about a man thing.
Even when I message him stuff about like the work thing, like I will text him about it, and then I also let you know. I'm like, just in case he doesn't read his texts or something, like I want you to see it too.
He usually, I feel like he might not, if it doesn't say me, he might look at what I say to him quicker than he would. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like maybe he sees me and scrolls away or whatever, and it's like, no, this is important. But yeah, no, there's no. I feel like it's my job as a girl's girl that like once somebody gets married, or if my close guy friend, was in a relationship or got married, I would feel the same way where I'm like, I'm on her side. If you fucking hurt her, like I'm gonna be real pissed at you.
Right.
So, and I feel like I know for sure I wasn't always like that. Like I wasn't always a girl's girl because it wasn't a thing for us,
Yeah, and that's like where we differ. I mean, I did, when we were figuring out the episode today, I did think that a little bit differently than you, because I think in my entire youth growing up, I never had a close guy friend ever. I feel like I kind of sort of started to have one when I was in like first grade, but that quickly grew into a complete awkwardness where that guy would never acknowledge my existence. And I've told things to you about this guy, but and it was like a family friend. Like my parents were friends with their parents.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think maybe that even like subconsciously messed with my like view of guy friends. I don't know. Like I was so young, but I had like a few guy friends I would talk to here and there in high school and stuff, but like I didn't give a shit about guys. I didn't even like want to date anybody until I was in my 20s. So that's probably just part of my like development. But I was always about girls. I always clicked better with girls. I understood them more. I just crave closeness with, I crave girlhood, I guess, I mean, I'm not the girliest girl in the world, but I just crave like, I just want to chit chat with my girls and laugh. And
there's nothing better to me that sounds better to me than being like, let's go get brunch with the girls.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 girls.
Yes.
And like, let's get day drunk.
Bottomless mimosas.
Go shopping.
I want to dance for a while.
Yeah.
I want to shop. And then I want to go home at like 6, eat a pizza, and then watch TV for a little while and go to bed at a normal hour hydrated. Like,
yeah, maybe even end the night with a burning ritual. Who knows?
I mean, we've done that. But it's like, or being like, hey, girls, does anybody want to go get like queso and margaritas on a patio? That is like, dude, I mean, life is worth living. Like, that's what it feels like.
That would heal me.
Yeah, it's incredible. But yeah, I don't, I feel like, yeah, growing up, I didn't have that need for female camaraderie. I mean, my best friends were girls. I mean, I had a good amount of boys that were friends too, but I was a bit of a tomboy. So I really liked wrestling. I really liked Pokemon. I really like, you know, things
Right.
that the
More
boys
like,
were into.
quote unquote boy
Yeah,
hobbies or
boy
whatever.
things. And like, you know, they all played games and did whatever and what. So I was close. And my family, a lot of my cousins were all boys too. So I always felt like I got along better with them. And, you know, I also felt that same like girl, because I was told, you know, girls are just going to be jealous of you. They're just going to be this. They're just going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be true a lot of the time. But I also know that it wasn't true some of the time.
I think we discussed this a little bit before, like a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us talking about this. I feel like that's almost like a passed down assumption about women. Like when our parents were young and when their parents were young, that was a thing where they like passed down this understanding, quote unquote, that women should be against women because that's our competition, because we're trying to get the better man.
We're being pitted against each other.
Right, to get the man that's going to be our, you know, husbands that take care of us. But that day and age is dead.
And I love that. But it you know what, it's not totally dead though, because sometimes it's so sad. I see it on Facebook. God damn it, TikTok.
I see it on
I
Facebook.
feel like a grandma that's calling her grandkid 3 different names. Like
I see it on the Tick Facebook.
Jessica, Raquel, Stephanie. That's what my grandma used to say. She would call us every name. But no, I feel like I've seen it on TikTok where, you know, there's trends about being the side girl, and there's trends about, you know, whatever. And I know I'm the side bitch, or I know I'm this, or going after people that are already married or whatever.
Right.
And it's like there's still that culture of younger women that like that's what they want.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying. I'm saying the fighting for a man that's gonna take care of you and like be what men used to be back in the, you know, 30s to the 60s, 70s or whatever time frame, that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Like we as a society don't make as much money as we used to. Everything's more expensive than it used to be. Women are most of the time having to work along with the men, so that doesn't exist. So I don't know why women are like competing for a lot of men.
Right. I think the competition back, like what you were talking about before, was you're competing for men because they were the providers and they took care of women and whatever. And I think now women are competing for validation, or they're competing because they want to know that I can do better than that girl because I think she's really pretty.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like a made up competition now. Like it doesn't have to exist. Like women in general, we all
the fucking guy is a loser.
Yeah, we all need to realize our worth and how cool everything would be if we all helped each other out and supported each other as women. Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember the point anymore. But yeah, that.
Well, we were talking about women being pitted against each other in media.
And I'm not saying like the generational thing. I know my mom never necessarily said those things that like women are gonna be jealous of you and women are gonna whatever. But I remember my mom like making slight comments about like, oh, she's just, you know, stupid, or oh, what's she wearing, or you know what I mean, just like negative comments about
like
girls.
A hoe. She's dressed like a slut.
Right.
She looks like a bimbo. Or, and
you know, I get it, but at the same time, like I think it wasn't necessarily like she was trying to be mean. Right. She was like, that's how she was raised. Right. And so she's just saying that, and like I take it for what it is, but I think most of the time we don't need to be that mean to other women.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that there's any reason to be, especially if they're like, you know, women that have pure intentions or whatever. Because like I said, there's still the women out there that are just like trying hard. And it's like, trying for what? For that guy? Yeah. Like you're willing to hurt another woman because of that. And it's like, you know, sometimes, and when I say sometimes, I mean all the time, men are not worth it. Yeah. Very rare. They're not, they're just like not worth it. Actually, you know what?